Nkosi Talk Shows family, is Nomsa here at Nkosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. So I am on my own today, guys, and it's Tuesday. Sorry, I am a bit late, and my computer was very, very slow. Joining in Zoom, I don't know why, but I'm here now. So today the topic is your character is an asset to your relationship growth. So what do I mean by that? Your character is an asset to your relationship growth. It's not it's very, very important to actually explore how personal growth, character develop and entwined with the growth of relationship. So this video is going to be valuable for you, a valuable resource for you, for anyone looking to deepen their understanding of themselves and their partner, and to foster a relationship that is both fulfilled and enduring forever. And also our belief system as well is very, very important. Yesterday I was listening to my father in the Lord, Dr. Olukoya, and he was saying you cannot become what you don't believe. So while we're building our characters as well, we have to believe in our spouse, we have to believe in ourselves, we have to believe in our relationship. So which means belief is one character that can be important for several reasons. Firstly, it will help you to actually shape your values and moral compass. It will guide you in making decisions and taking actions that can align with your personal integrity. And believing in our character, it can give us a sense of self-confidence and self-reassurance, enabling us to navigate life challenges with resilience. So it's very, very important to actually believe in our character when we are building a character, or when we are in a relationship. Between our words and actions, what we say to each other, what we say to ourselves as well, it builds credibility and fosters a positive relationship if those words are positive. And that's very, very important to do that. So what are the steps for actually creating your character? Understanding yourself is the foundation of a relationship. You know, when you actually, it's like the foundation of a relationship, what we plant in that foundation is the critical component of how our relationship is able to work and be fulfilled in that relationship. So it's very, very important to actually understand yourself in order for you to build that healthy relationship. And the number one step is self-reflection. Take time to reflect on your values. It's very, very important. I mentioned this few days ago when we talk about, I think it was Friday or was it yesterday, I can't remember. It's very, very important to reflect on your values, to reflect on your beliefs, to reflect on your strength, to reflect on your weaknesses without blaming. Consider your past experiences and how they have shaped you. If you do need to rewrite your past, guys, our past cannot define our future. So whatever we've gone through in the past, there are some people who have gone through abuse, in different forms of abuse growing up. And some people, they've gone through physically, emotionally. Some people have gone through rejection from their parents rejecting them. Some people have gone through it. The list goes on. But whatever is important when you create your character is important to understand that whatever you've gone through in the past, it stays in the past. You can rewrite it to shape your future. You don't have to say, you know what, I have gone through this. I don't think anyone is going to want to hang out with me, or anyone is going to want to date me, or whatever you name it, whatever you may have gone through. Some people go through abusive parents. Some people, they get married and then they go through they get married and then they go through abusive husband, partner, spouse, you name it, and then they get out. They struggle to rebuild their life because they think what they have gone through is going to define their future, but it does not define your future. Whatever pain, whatever struggles you go through, you can rewrite your past, you can rewrite your story. You get to decide how you respond to that, whatever situation you go through, you get to decide yourself. So it is very, 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 very important. Like, I come from Africa myself. I came to United Kingdom. Before, I used to listen to my fellow Africans. They will say, if you start a business here in Africa, there was somebody actually who ran a care agency, and this girl, she used to say to me, if you really want to be successful running a business in this country, you have to start your company, but then the person that needs to run the company, they have to be an English person. So I couldn't understand it, why she was saying they need to be an English person, but then I realized actually she was talking about discrimination. Yes, there are going to be people that are going to look you down. It does not mean that it happens in the UK. Even when I'm in Africa, if I can go to Africa, there's gonna be people that are going to look me down, my fellow Africans. They are going to look me down. So the reason why I'm sharing this is whatever your belief system, they are the critical component of how you are able to live freely or date freely, or maybe you are an African person and you think, okay, I like the idea of dating a white guy, but I don't know how is it like, or maybe they're racist. Racism is everywhere. If you go to Africa, there are Black people who are racist towards other Black people from foreigners. Like, if you go to South Africa, you will find that there are people who are racist towards Nigerians, towards other people from other countries. So racism is everywhere. Even here in the UK, you will find white people that are racist towards Black people. You'll find Black people that are racist towards white people. So it's just a mix. You just have to create your character based on what do you want yourself, what do you believe to be true about yourself, not what you think that people are not gonna like you or whatever. So it is very, 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 very important to understand that who you are is what you want. Who you are and what you want is essential before entering into a relationship or before doing anything in life. Identify your needs and your boundaries. When I'm saying identify your needs and your boundaries, have a clarity of your needs, clarify your needs and establish personal boundaries. It means you can write things down and recognize what is important to you in a relationship, whether is it emotionally support, whether it's trust or independence. Establish those boundaries. It can help you to actually communicate your limits and ensure that your needs are respected as well at the same time. I call them principles and boundaries. So when you have principles in place in a relationship, you write them down. I'm not saying you have to be cocky, you have to be your character. Like myself, I have my own principles. I have my company, I have Ngozi talk shows, I have my family, I have my friends, I have my followers on my social media. So these people that decide to come and be part of me, my character is, I see them as my family. So that is my character, that, okay, these people, they are my family. If somebody, let's say they leave everything that they are meant to be doing to watch my video, and then they go. So to me, they decide to be part of me. So I will always see them as my family. So you can create principles and boundaries in your relationship. Jesus, Christians, they believe in God. So when you believe in God, you go to the Bible. There are principles, commandments that have been written, 10 commandments that have been written as specific for Christians. So God does not negotiate to say, okay, you can come. He does not negotiate. He does not share his love with anybody else. He says if you he knows there's other gods out there. There's loads of them, other gods. And he knows that Lucifer, his son, his a fallen angel, his son is also his competition, but he's not worried about that. So he keeps his principle, his commandment very, very simple, that this is who you need to be in order to follow me. He also explains that come as you are with your burden. It means you don't have to change. You don't have to change you don't have to pretend to be something you're not. So what he's saying is, whatever pain you go through, whatever struggles you go through, I'll still accept you. I'll still accept you, unless you don't worship other gods. So what are your principles based on your character that you are going to put in place in a relationship? That is very, very important, so that when I enter your life, you don't have to tell me, Nomsa, these are my principles. No, you don't. Your character is going to represent that. Your confidence, your character, how you communicate with people, with your spouse, how you do things is everything. How you respond to every situation, how you respond to arguments, the list goes on. So that will be your character that you can create boundaries and embrace self-care is very, very important. Embracing self-care when you create your character, because we create our character because we care about ourselves. When you create your character, it's not based on your spouse, it's not based on your mom or your dad or your sister or your children. Your character is based on specific for you. Like myself, my children, like when I do some things, they pretend not to see the person that I am. But when things get tough, they'll come back and say, they know mommy can sort this out. So my daughter, like my oldest, she'll come back and say, mommy, can you do this for me? Or can you pray for me? Or can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do that? So they do know that even your children can see your character, can get to know your character. So it's very, very important to create, like I hear people saying, everything that I do is based on my children, but it's not. The reason why it's not based on your children, it has to be based on you. The love that you have for your children is the character that you have been able to create. It's a decision that you yourself have been able to decide that this is the person that I am going to be towards this person. This is the person in my character that I am going to be towards that person, towards my relationship. It's a decision. So when you decided to love your children, it means there is a beautiful character there that has been created for you to be that beautiful mom for your children. So when we talk about the character of a relationship, is the same. You cannot say, I want to get married, but you have some talking problems. Because if you have some talking problems, that means the relationship is not going to work. So it's very, very important to work on our character, work on our image, our everything in that moment, embracing self-care at the same time without blaming. Some people, they like to criticize themselves a lot. So you don't have to criticize yourself. When we prioritize self-care, it means make it a regular practice in your life. Engage in activities that promote well-being that you love, such as maybe exercise and prayer, meditation. If you are not if you are a Christian, you can meditate in the Word of God. If you are not a Christian, you can meditate. Your hobbies, spend time with your loved ones, and taking care of you emotionally, physically, mentally. It allows you to bring your best self to your relationship. And then the other one is cultivating self-care. When you cultivate self-care, is very, very important for you to actually be patient and understanding that we are all not perfect in life. We all make mistakes and shortcomings. So treat yourself with the same level of empathy and understand that the advice you would give to your friend, you deserve that advice too. So for you to treat yourself like that and explore your emotions, that is another step. You can explore your emotions when you build your character and express them how you believe it is true about yourself. Understand how do you respond in different situations, and how your emotions influence your thoughts and action as well. And understanding emotional intelligence is is the critical component for effective communication and building a strong relationship. So it's very, very important. I was talking to my friend yesterday, and she was telling me that in the area where she lives, she actually gets contracts to go and work in different places. And so when she gets that contract, she'll go and just do some work, or sometimes she gets contract with the council. And she said to me, she was really wind up and say people like to gossip. So she's one of the people, like friends that she knows, they came to the workshop where she was doing the workshop, and apparently this girl started spreading rumors that she now works for the council and she earns this money, like £24 or something. So I said, who cares? And she was like getting wind up, and I was like, nobody cares. People just let people gossip. It does not matter what people say. We worry about what people say even when we are in a relationship. Our relationship sometimes gets broken because we worry so much about other people, what kind of a car we drive, that people are going to start talking. If we no longer driving in nice cars, and people are going to start doing this. But guess what? Welcome to this world where if you really, really care about people, what they say, we care about people because we want to build them, we want to help them to succeed in life. But when it comes to caring about what people say, comes to gossip, then you're not going to move forward in life, because people will always have things to say. And it's very, very important in relationship as well, not to worry when you're building your character. Build your character based on you. Last year, I we were coming out of lockdown. So we're coming out of lockdown. Everybody's worried now that because the lockdown, the business has not been going properly, and the expenses and everything. So for me, if you raise concerns, it means I have to do something. So what I did is I had to look into downsizing. So when we were downsizing, and the last minute of the exchange, uh, the person on our side, where we were meant to go, they've changed their mind. We have the money, they changed their mind with the house. And the people in this house, they wanted to move in now. So means we don't have a home. So I was like, guys, maybe it's the best, maybe this happens for a reason. Let's go and stay with granddad. Put everything into the storage and go and stay with granddad. My children didn't like it, but we did. In the UK, we did. Went to live with my father-in-law. But people were talking, and I was saying to their dad, who cares? Just let people talk. Nobody, I was like, the reason why you should not worry about people talking is because what is the point in living in a bigger house, big bills, and you are stressed in a way that you can get sick and go to the hospital? You might as well live a freedom life. But I was enjoying myself living with my father-in-law because I go to work, I come home, there is food. My father-in-law likes to cook. And when he goes to town, he'll come back with the spoiling us. I just enjoyed that. At that moment, we stayed with him. I think we stayed with him up to 6 months because there were no houses in the market. The other choice we had was to move out from where we were to go to a different city. But I was like, I like living here, so I'm not going to move out. Our house is going to come out. We're going to get our own home. So we just need to wait. So we waited and waited until we found a home. But the home that we found obviously was too small, but that was okay. And on a later on, now we're meant to find another home because now things have gone back to normal. But there's no rush. So you shouldn't worry when it comes to relationship. You have to build your character. I've learned, I built my character growing up as a child, a very young age. I never ever worried about what people thought about me. Or girls, the girls would dress up or they'll go hang out with whatever they hang out and gossip. But me, I just hang out with my parents. And that was my choice, that I prefer to hang out my parents, and I'll listen, I'll ask stories to my parents, interviewing them, getting what I do now is what I used to do with them, and I just get to know them and just spend time with my family. And but I never got involved with the gossip. And if I get involved with people that gossip, I just move away because I don't feel comfortable hanging out with the negativity. But when people gossip about me, it does not affect me. So you shouldn't worry about those things. Like when you create your character, unapologetic, you got to be real. Really, you got to be really, the car that you drive is got to be your want, not because you are driving it because you want to show off to somebody else. The house that you live in with your spouse, is everything is got to be you, because you're caring for yourself. Is got to be what you want as a person. The dress, the clothes that you wear. If you buy clothes for people to say, look at her, she's so amazing, then that's not your character. Buy good clothes, love cars, because you love them. Because when you see a nice car, you're like, I love this car. Not because I'm buying them because my next door neighbor has a car, so I'm going to buy a car that is better than him. So you, in that way, that's not self-care. So self-care means you go deep. You explore your emotions, your thoughts, actions, and that helps you to build a strong relationship with your spouse and seek personal growth, both of you. But if the other person does not seek, if they're not into personal development, please don't force your spouse or give them an ultimatum. I hear people saying, I have given my husband an ultimatum. I've met this person and she was like, my wife doesn't smoke anymore. I had to give an ultimatum to say cigarette or I leave you. That's a threat. You don't need to do that in the first place. If you don't smoke, don't date somebody who smokes. So those are the things that you have to be aware of them and practicing self-growth. When we seek personal growth, it means we engage in activities that help us to expand our knowledge, our skills and perspective of life. That will help you to continue growing, and the benefits are beautiful. For those who are not into personal development, it is beautiful. It brings a relationship into a new site and experiences, and also practice self-reflection in a relationship. Who are you becoming in that relationship? You can evaluate. I'm not saying judge your spouse or judge yourself. You can just look back and say, am I growing? Who am I becoming? Or am I becoming, the more I stay in this relationship, the more I get frustrated? So it's very, very important to regularly reflect on how you show up in that relationship. Assess whether your actions aligns with your values, and if you are meeting your own needs, whether you're meeting your own needs and your boundaries. Recognize the patterns as well and the behavior that may hinder your relationship, and to your relationship to grow. So it's very, very important. If you are somebody, seek feedback. So it's very, very important. I've never, I did not ask my ex, but he turned around and said, Nomsa, you are really, really annoying. And I was like, he was like, you're really, really annoying, but you get things done. And the reason why he was calling me annoying is because just because he is my ex, it does not mean I made a decision in my conscious, subconscious mind that just because he's my ex, it does not mean that I have to fight him. I had to look at it life this way. If you go to my family tree, my daughter is called his name, Hawkins, and his name is going to be on my family tree. So I'm thinking, why do I need to fight in my family? So he is part of my family. So that means I cannot fight my family. That's my daughter's blood. So I cannot fight him. It means that we are part of family. So I decided in my subconscious mind that he's part of me. So I'm going to treat him with respect, no matter how much, even if I don't get respect from him, I will always respect him. And whatever I do when it comes to my daughter's life, I will always make sure that he is involved. If he's not involved, he has to explain why he cannot get involved in the activities or in anything. If my daughter is meetings, if he is busy, he can reschedule it. He can reschedule the meeting. So those are the things that I put in place. And then he turn around and say, good God, you are really annoying, but I like you. You get things done. Honestly, if I'm doing something, I'm from Africa. I don't have the attitude of I'm going to deprive myself because I'm African. If I have to do something, if I have to humble myself and surrender and go and ask somebody to actually help me with something, I will do it. So he knows that I will do it. Even if it's at school, I will go and humble myself. If there is something that I need, or I need to ask, or if I need any help, or my daughter needs help, I will humble myself and ask for that. So that's why he meant that you are actually annoying. Yeah, so those are the things that part of me that I do, and they helped me. My character is who helped me with my character actually growing up is my dad. My dad, when I was growing up, he never ever told me off. I do not remember my father raising a voice at me. I don't remember him disrespecting me. All I remember, even my mom and my stepdad, my stepmom used to go, ooh, ooh. Uh, my my dad, my dad would sit me down, and not because I wasn't those kids like those spoiled kids. I wasn't like those kids like that. So he will sit down with me. He will explain things in life, or sometimes he was a teacher, so he would get up in the morning, 4 a.m. He would wake me up, and we'll have a chat like a father, like daughter, talk about problems in life that I'm facing in life. So he helped me to build my character, to understand that in life, I am the only person that can create my own life, not anybody else, not even him. So he will explain those things that are important. He will say his belief, what he believe about me. He will say, one day you're going to travel around the world, and I believe in you. I believe that one day you're going to be this, one day you're going to be this, and one day you're going to be this. But he never forced that on me. He would say those things negative, manifesting for my life. And everything that he spoke, I became that, because those were beliefs that he was fostering in my life. I grew up and became to believe in myself. Even when I came to the UK, I knew that I was a black person, but I'll go for the things that I believe that if I'm capable of something, I'll just go apply and just do it. And if I get no, it's fine. I don't really mind, but I will not use my color and say because I'm black, it means that I cannot succeed in life. No, that's not how life works. And if you're somebody who do meet people make you feel that way, it's fine, it's for them. But know that your color does not define you. When you create your character, where you come from, it does not define you. Your character does not define you. So it's very, very, very important to actually believe in the things that you want to do, and knowing that you cannot become something that you don't believe in. So those are very, very, very important things that you have to have in mind when you create your character. Your character is seek feedback. Like for me, I don't seek feedback. People are eager to tell me what they think of me, but I'm okay. So that's fine. Like my ex telling me that, Nomsa, you are annoying. He was saying it that I'm annoying, that because if I want to do something, you cannot stop me to say, Nomsa, you can't do this. I lived in Essex before, and when we were splitting up, I was like, I just need something for a change. I need to go. We're gonna move to Henley, and he was like, Henley is so expensive. So there is no way that I can afford to pay for 2 homes while you guys live in Henley, and then look after our daughter. And I was like, it is expensive, but I'm sure I can find my own home specific for me, my own life. I can create my own life that I can afford. And I came here in Henley, my own choice. There were 2 choices, Henley or Hertfordshire. So when I went to Hertfordshire, it's so beautiful near Stansted Airport. It's beautiful. It's a small village, but everybody knows everybody. When I walked into the pub, they knew I was in the locals. So when I came to Henley, it was like I was in a different country. It's so beautiful. gorgeous. And I was like, wow, this is where I need to be. I couldn't find a home. Everything turns out that when everybody was saying it's expensive, it turns out to be true, but I didn't give up in the end. Because of my character, I found that home that I needed with my daughter, and it was just so perfect. The price was just so perfect, no stress. I just moved in here and I made the right choices, because when we talk about vision, Henley is a culture. Henley's culture is good. You're surrounded by people who are driven, who wants to be something. Whether you're Black, it does not matter. And it's a wealthy city. It does not matter. They don't care what color you are. Everybody loves everybody. So that's the way the surroundings, there is the places where celebrities live. But it doesn't look like it, because everybody supports everybody. You'll find a rich person or anybody that is wealth, they will surrender themselves to actually help the person that is not wealth. So that is the culture where people live. So when you create your character based on you, not based on what people think. Because when we put people first, we're not going to succeed in life. So we need to put our needs first and value people. We value people, we love them, and we support them, but we have to live our own lives. So you have to be somebody that lives their own lives, not to live your life based on it. Worrying about people is just too much. So just worry about yourself, and how you respond to life is very, very important. Seek feedback is very, very, very important. And my spouse, my ex tells me that I'm annoying because I get things done, and my spouse goes, Nomsa, you know your thing that you do to move forward with life. Can you do that? And can you help me to do this? Or can you help one of the children? Maybe it's the children. Can you do your thing? They call it a thing. I'm like, why do you always call it a thing? For me, it's simple. You want to move forward with life, means you understand your character. And I don't do things on my own. I do things with God. My prayer life is very, very, very important. So it's when they want to do something, they say, Nomsa, can you do your thing? My thing is I have to communicate with God, because whatever I do, I have to go to him first. Those are my principles, part of my principles and my values. I have to surrender myself and say, God, I come as I am. I'm a sinner. I have wronged you. I'm not perfect. But at this minute, I need your help. And then I'll have to say whatever the help. It could be the help with the relationship. It could be help with my daughter at school. If I want to pray for my daughter to pass the exams, I will do it. That's how my life is. Honestly, if my daughter tells me, Mommy, I need A in this, I need A plus in this, I need A plus in this, I say, okay, forget about it. Or whatever the results, or he tells me that, Mommy, I need to pass, I've got to pass this subject, I've got to do this. I say, okay, but there's one thing that I need from you. So I tell my daughter the character that I need from her in order for me to help her. The character that I need her to be normal, not to get stressed. I need her to go to school and behave like a normal child, not like a spoiled child, like a child who gets wind up and say, I've got to pass the exams, I've got to do this. I don't want that character. If my daughter wants my help, it means that she has got to be normal. She got to surrender. She got to study and do her best, and mommy will do her best so that the Holy Spirit will guide her through when she's doing her exams. So that's how I do. I don't do things on my own. If I say every accomplishment that I have accomplished, I have done it all myself, I will be lying to you. So that is part of my character. As a Christian, I have learned the hard way how to use the Bible as a weapon. It's actually very easy. You don't always get the results that you need, but it does not mean that those results, they are not going to come. It means sometimes you might have to wait. Or sometimes it means that sometimes you might have to do the unthinkable. Fast. There are times where sometimes I fast for 70 days. Like when my daughter was doing her GCSEs, we were fasting for 70 days. She got good results because at that moment I had surrendered to God and said, God, I cannot do this. So the reason why I'm sharing this is very, very important to understand your character in order to have a healthy relationship. If you are somebody who has a character where you look at somebody on social media and you want to behave like them, that's not a good character. So a character, it means you got to know yourself. You got to self-reflect, and people give you feedback. That's funny, but some of the feedback that people give you, it does not mean that is the truth. So you yourself got to know yourself and have somebody, maybe a trusted friend that you know that they can give you feedback. For me, basically, even my in-laws, when they want to do something, they just dump. If there is something that needs to be done, or writing a letter, or mostly writing a letter to challenge the system, they will just say, Nomsa, can you do your research? Can you do your thing? And I just do it. And sometimes when I was writing a letter, my brother-in-law, he was reading about his dad. He goes, what? I was like, you got to write the language they understand. Sometimes their language is their system where when you're doing things, everything you do, you got to understand the language people speak. In business, people speak in a certain way. Council, they speak in a certain way. The government, they speak in a certain way. So everything you do, you got to speak that language. So that's what I've learned myself. I've not learned it because I'm good or because what? No, I've learned it because of the struggles of life. So I've learned that. And also if you are somebody who likes to fight in a relationship, or fight, it does not get anywhere. So you got to understand the language of your spouse. Is very, 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 very important to understand your language as well. Language is my needs. When you speak this language, how does it make me feel? Embrace on your vulnerability. Allow yourself to be vulnerable in your relationship. Open up and share your thoughts. Share your feelings, share your fears. Vulnerability fosters intimacy and allows for a deeper connection with others. So you got to be vulnerable. Even myself, like I got to a point where, like when I'm saying to you, when I surrender, like when I need to surrender, I surrender myself. Like even in business, there were times where when I meet people, I don't have to be too much. I know it all. No, I have to surrender in order for me to learn from the other person. I got to surrender, and I got to wanting to learn from them, not to like it to say, you know what, I'm a businesswoman, I know it all. I don't. So I'm a relationship coach. I have to have a relationship coach as well. Just because I'm a relationship coach, it doesn't mean I can solve my problems on my own. No, it doesn't. I have a business. I understand about business. I still have to have a business coach, somebody that can coach me so I can take my business to the next level. So it's very, 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 very important to actually create your character and regular self-check-in with yourself. make self-reflection, self-awareness. It's an ongoing thing. It does not end. Communicate and active listening is very, very important. Practice active listening, give your full attention to the person that is speaking, and maintain eye contact. Eye contact is very, very important. Avoid interrupting as well, and show genuine interest. What they are saying, reflect back on what you've had, ensure you understand it properly. Use open, honest language is very, very important. When you is very, very important. It's part of building a character. I've learned all this when I was like going through my own divorce, because I had to go back and build my own character. And that helped me to actually become the person that I am. And at the time I was a Christian as well. I've always been, I wasn't born, I don't know what I was born, but I remember when I started going to church when I was 8 or 7 or something like that. But when I came to the UK, I remember asking myself, my life was ending like this, the same cycle. So I asked myself, who is this man? I'm a Christian. And God in the Bible, he says there's so many things that he says, but why do I keep living this life? So I actually decided to change my character completely. I did not change my character. My character from when I was young, it showed up when I decided to get rid of the fake Nomsa, the Nomsa that I thought I had created when I became a teenager. Adult, when I turned 18. I think that's when we start creating fake characters, because we're trying to fit in with other people. So at that age, I had to get rid of that character, and that character was frustrating. So the character from a very young age, when I was born up to 18, that character showed up. That is the real me. So that is the character that I decided to keep. From my inner child, because that inner child was crying inside. I don't worry about things, but I started worrying about things. I started worrying about what people think. And for me as a child, I never really that person. I've always hanged out with my family. Although I think my family call me baby. Even now when I go home, I hold hands with my mom, because I've always hanged out with my mom. If I need a cuddle with my mom, I'll just go and cuddle with my mom, walk like this. I'm not ashamed of it because she's my mom. So I do all those things, even with my dad, but my dad and my stepdad, their dad, my mom wasn't that, so my stepmom wasn't that soft. So like, oh, so those are the things, my character. But when I decided that I needed to create my character, it creeped some people out. Because when I created my character, I just needed to live my life and be happy. So the first thing that I did, it was moving from a big mansion to a 2-bedroom flat with my daughter, apartment with my daughter. And I was so happy living in that apartment, I tell you, than living in a mansion. The reason why I was so happy, because if I wanted to clean the 2-bedroom flat, it would take me like 30 minutes to clean 2-bedroom flat. But if I wanted to clean that mansion there, it took me 3 hours or 4 hours. Can you imagine the big difference? I lost through that process of changing my character. I lost friends because my friends thought I was crazy. They couldn't understand my character. They couldn't understand the person that I was becoming, but I wasn't changing anything. I was just being me. But they thought that something was wrong, because apparently when you live in a big house, apparently that is good. So for me, I was divorcing, and I was like, there's no need for me to live in a big mansion with just my daughter. And instead, I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, and then I put my daughter in a private school. So to me, that made sense because it was just the two of us. She has her own bedroom. I have my own bedroom. I have my beautiful area. Everything was so beautiful. We just put our feet up and just watch. We had everything. So I couldn't understand, but I lost friends through that because my friends thought, wow, just because you've decided to downgrade your life, you are no longer in our category of whatever you name it. So, but that was okay because I was happy. And through that, I managed to actually find love again. Through that, I managed to start my own business. Through that, I managed to do so many things. I managed to be happy. So I'm sharing this because happiness is important. When happiness is found through your character, you won't be disappointed with life. No matter what life throws at you, you will be able to actually maintain that life because that life is being created based on your want, based on your desires, based on your values, based on your beliefs, based on your true authenticity. Is not based on you wanting to please anybody. And that creates, it builds a good foundation in a relationship. So if you are that person that is like, I want to be myself, and just start by not worrying about people and just live the life that you want, is very, very important. Is happy. Learn non-verbal communication like language is very, very important. Pay attention to your non-verbal, such as body language and facial expression, and also a tone of your voice. Ensure your non-verbal signals align with your verbal communication to convey sincerity and authenticity. And also do the same to your spouse. Understand the empathy is very, very important as well. And clarifying things and asking questions is very, very important. When you do that, when you doubt, when you are in doubt, clarify what other person is saying. Ask open questions. Always ask questions. Me in this house, everyone is like, when I start asking questions, everyone starts laughing. But that's the person that I am. I like asking questions and avoid making assumptions. The reason I ask questions, I don't want to assume about anybody. I seek a clarification to avoid misunderstandings. Respect for the disagreement. And those are the things that are important. I ask questions. If I don't understand something, I ask simple questions. If you go to my mom, like my character on social media, if you go to my mom will tell you that whatever you want to say or you want to gossip, please don't say it in front of Nomsa. She will tell you that. She will tip people before I'm there. So that when people don't, because sometimes people make things up, or they will talk and making things up. Me, if somebody is there talking about somebody and that person is not there to defend themselves, I bring them in and say, can you defend yourself? Because these people seem to think you're having an affair, or they seems to think that you're having this, and that person will start explaining that, oh no, that's not what is going on, because people make things up and then they will start explaining. I went home and my uncle was doing long shifts, and they were all gossiping and saying he's having an affair. I could see my mom is saying this to everyone. Please don't talk. And then yes, my uncle arrives and I'm like, uncle, are you having an affair? And he goes, no, I'm working long hours, simple because I need the money. And I was like, okay, the problem is solved. And I was like, guys, are you happy? he's not having an affair, because they make things up. Me, I've learned from a very, very young age, ask questions. I will ask my dad questions, sometimes the questions that will make him very uncomfortable. But that's how he was raising me. That's how he wanted me to become. So if you want me to become that, so I've learned that just go and ask questions. Like in the house, if there is something that I don't understand, I ask questions. Or sometimes my children, my daughter, she's 17 now, she'll go out and then she comes back. She wants me to be the bad guy and tell her off. That's my character I'm choosing, because I know if I tell her off, she's not going to get it. I'm going to end up arguing with her. She argues with me, and then I become the bad guy. So for me, if she goes out, my character, when she comes back, I go quiet deliberately. And she will look at me and say, Mommy, why are you not losing the plot? I'm like, am I supposed to lose the plot? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I have to explain the reason why I'm not supposed to lose the plot. I say to her, I've raised you I raised you by the values of this house. So you have to then decide your character, how you want to become going forward, because now you understand a little bit about life. So it means when you go out, you get to call Mommy, I'm going to be late. The reason why I'm going to be late, if it's an understandable reason, is fine. But if you go out and you expect me to come back, you expect me to waste my energy and to scream, I ain't gonna do that. I do that with my spouse as well. I ain't gonna scream and wasting my energy to nobody. It's not necessary. So if my spouse does something that annoys me, instead of me telling him off, or instead of me losing the plot, I have to put my feet up there and ask him what is going on, and ask him what is going on. Or simply, I'm going to tell you guys how God works, or simply I go to God and I pray about it. If I'm having challenges in a relationship, I do not approach that relationship straight away. I will go into prayer first. Once I go into prayer, I find that if there is something that is going on in my relationship, God deals with it before I even get to finish my prayer, because I'm surrendering myself and saying, I don't know how to deal with this. And then asking God to actually help me to take control in the situation. So those are the things that I do, and it works. So you can do the reason why I'm sharing my own story is you can use your own story and trust your beliefs and create your character. So it's very, very important. I have had to create my own character based on the person that I am, based on my values, and based on my beliefs. And conflict resolution as well is very, very important. Learn effective conflict resolution strategies, such as active listening, compromise when is needed, find a win-win solution, approach conflict with problem-solving mindset, rather focusing on winning or proving a point. I don't go to the argument because I want to prove a point. I don't go to the argument because I want to win. I don't do all those things. I go simply, if there is an argument that happens, it happens. No one asks for arguments, but I don't want to win. I just want a win-win situation where my spouse is happy, where I'm happy. And but that is the person that I decide to be. So you may want to solve problems in a different way. So find the balance based on your character, who you want to become. But all I can say is do not avoid things and say, I'm not going to confront that situation. Me, there's so many things that I don't confront. Whenever I see the problem, I go to God, I go to prayer. it makes my life very easy. Very, very, very easy, because when God intervened in a situation, my father in the Lord mentioned this yesterday, that when God makes you, no one can, no one, when God makes you, no one can, and no one can actually recreate you, not even problems. When God decide to stand by you, when you decide to cry out to God, nobody can change your story. Whether people can try, but they will never ever enter, or even your marriage, they wouldn't enter your marriage and destroy it when you stand with God. No one can undo, no one can undone you. Once God decided this is your story, I've decided I've made you. When he was saying when God makes you, because God created you as an image, and he said this is your character, this is your life. Your life was already written, but people can change it, but problems can if you let it. But if you stand by what you believe, and that character will help you to have a good relationship with yourself, with the people around you. Walk in your partner's shoes is very, very important, and listen with the intent. Validate their feelings. If somebody else's feeling is very important. Practice perspective taking is very, very important. Express empathy, validate their experience, offer support if it's needed. Practice emotional regulation is very, very important. Continuously learn and grow with your spouse. Practice empathy in everyday life, and trust, honesty, building blocks of a strong relationship is based on trust. So trust your spouse honestly, and communicate. Open communications, be reliable, keep your promises, make promises that you can keep. And guys, this is based on men. Please do not make promises to women you cannot keep. Women, they don't forget. They will not write anything down when you make promises, but it stays here. So when they come back and they give you those promises, if you promise to marry somebody and then later on you tell them story, don't say it. Don't say you're going to marry somebody if you're not going to marry somebody, or don't say you're going to do this if you're not going to do this, or say, honey, I'm going to clean the house and you're not going to clean it. So make promises you can keep. And that goes with women as well. But women, they keep promises. They are good at keeping promises. It's just the guy. And also be authentic in a relationship is very, very important. Your true authenticity will help you to build a strong relationship, and your spouse will appreciate your honesty and feel more comfortable opening up as well to you. Practice active listening, share your vulnerability, be accountable, respect your spouse's privacy, and consistency over time. Trust yourself, believe in your beliefs, and trust your judgment and your decisions. It helps you to be authentic and honest in your relationship, and also take a step back if it's necessary. And then there's identity issues as well. Clearly identify and define the specific issues or problems that is causing conflict. If you're having conflict in a relationship, express your perspective of life, seek common ground, brainstorming solution with your spouse, and reflect and learn, rebuild, and strengthening your relationship is very, very, very important. I've mentioned self-awareness. What else I haven't mentioned? Boundaries, I've mentioned that. Personal growth, I mentioned that. And respect your differences as well is very, very important to understand the differences in a relationship. And also regular check-ins, I've mentioned that. And mindset, growth mindset is very, very important if you want to evolve with your spouse. Embrace the concept of recognizing a fixed mindset, challenge your limiting beliefs. Sometimes your limiting beliefs might be stopping your relationship growing. Embrace the challenges. When challenges come your way, embrace them. I'm a relationship coach. Challenges do come my way sometimes, but sometimes I just have to deal with them. But sometimes there are challenges where I'm just saying, God, can you help me? I cannot do them. There are things that I can control in life. There are things that I can't. So and also learn from your mistakes is very, very important. To cultivate curiosity is very, very important. And foster supportive environment, grow together with your spouse, and express appreciation and gratitude. Focus on the positive things in your relationship. Understand the act of kindness, spend quality time together, have a prayer life. Or if you're not a prayerful person, have a meditation life. Whatever the rituals that you use. For me, prayer life is very, very important for my relationship, and celebrate your milestones in that relationship and continue to grow together. Reflect on your values, nature, trust, support in each other. Know how to deal with the storms, whether the storms comes your way. Relationship has its own difficulties. Don't compare your relationship with anybody else, please. We have people that go around and comparing their characters, their relationship, with their cars, their makeup, their you name it. Don't compare your life with anybody. It's very, very important to keep your character unique as possible. Don't be a follower. A follower is somebody who meets somebody and they start behaving like them. You don't need to do that. You just live your life the way you want to be. Embrace your journey in your relationship. I think I'm going to leave it here, guys. I got to go off now. And if you're looking for love, you can go to my website, Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency, and register on the website. And if you are looking for coaching, if you want coaching, you can go to the coaching part and make some inquiry. And it's Tuesday today. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I will see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. And live with grace, everyone. And God bless. If you are watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, you can share my video, be part of the family, or you can share Facebook videos, or if you're watching on Twitter, please do the same. And God bless.